Welcome back for more Burning Crusade dungeons. What we have up today is a heroic Hellfire Ramparts. I'm going to try to get my 5th or 4th Primal Nether. Oh, they're all Avalanche. But none of them were from my guild. My other guild is being merged into Avalanche, but I don't recognize any of them. They must be original Avalanche. So this is not the regular Ramparts, otherwise, you remember when I tanked the place, and it was a complete plow, because it's level 60. This is the heroic hard mode version, where the orcs are gonna hit fucking hard. There went the healer. He just walked right up to her and splat. I didn't even see him swing at her. She just dropped. She's probably the only one that can riz too. Now that I think about it, I should have just mailed over my damn... the jumper cables don't bind. I'm doing heroics with this guy. Yeah, my rogue's inventory is much bigger because he's got 4 gigantic bags. I should have just mailed over my jumper cables. They don't bind. I could have been trying to use them here. Yeah, it never occurred to me. But if I get the Primal Nether from this run, then I can basically hang it up. I won't have much of a reason to keep doing heroics with this character after that. Okay, it's not that long of a run. It's not like Classic, where they put the graveyard miles away. The distances to all the Burning Crusade dungeons are pretty reasonable. This is tuned. Outlands is tuned so much better than Classic. Oh shit, I was just at... I don't remember what they are, but they're not Ramparts, neither one of them. Yeah, I was just thinking that. I remember it said Sunseeker Chandler. I just remembered that it was Botanic right before she linked. I didn't remember this one. I remember that one. This one's mech. So this is the heroic. I think. One of them's heroic, the other is regular, but neither of them are this one. I think they're actually planning to go to Shadow Labyrinth next. Well, I haven't done the trials on this warrior, so maybe I'll take him there too. I might not get the primal out of this run. If I kept doing the arena, I would have gotten more gladiator stuff, but I only did arena on season 1 for this character, then I hung it up. I switched to Shaman, which has done Arena for all of Season 2 so far. And he actually did some in Season 1 too. Just gonna let him walk by. They're probably gonna aggro on that sheep or pig. Nope. Didn't happen. I think it has to break while they're near to aggro. Now they're waiting for him to come back. I got Deserter because I was in the battlegrounds on the Solstice Post. Shattered Halls, Heroic Mech. If the Heroic Daily is Mechanar today, that's gonna be, Wait, I already recorded Heroic Mech, didn't I? I'm getting all my runs confused. Well, I might be tempted to do another one on my own. You do dungeons out of order. It's hard to keep track of which ones you got up. Yeah, Heroic Mech was the last one. Heroic Mechanar actually got the Heroic Daily today. I should be able to get Botanic as well. Botanic and Underbog. Those aren't too difficult. Might be able to get Crypts isn't too bad either, but Manatomes and Seathicals, those are rough ones. Seems to have been a surge of dungeon groups lately. Even though we're going into the holidays, when you think there'd be less people on. Gonna be a bunch of players who get on the game during the holidays to get away from the families. Instead of it being the other way around, it's like, oh, I don't have time. I have to go spend time with the family. They're like, no, I hate my family. I want to stay on the game. This is prime gaming time while they're all doing other crap. I'm almost in that crowd. I don't necessarily hate all my relatives. I'm just still on Warcraft. I don't care much about any of the holidays. People always think I would like Halloween. You know, the bomb. I don't need October to wear something with a skull on it. I would do that already. Everyone else is just playing dress up. And I know it's all a facade. I'm not offended by it, I just don't care for it. We're gonna pick this one time of the year to wear cool clothes. Like, well, you could just wear that shit year round. That's, you know, the black is the only color I have in my clothes at all. Except for pictures or something, but otherwise it's black. Zug is unafraid. Another patrol. Now that Beastmaster over there will actually summon a whole bunch of hounds. If I remember correctly. This other warrior's not doing the battle show. He's doing command too, I should switch. Well, you died quick. Trying to keep him snared. Well, at least the healer's still alive this time. Okay, I am not hotkeyed for that. I don't really need this on there. There we go. Bone Chewer Destroyer. Double sheep. Or one sheep, one pig. The sheep they give to you by default. The pig is on a quest at level 50. And I actually have that on my mage, but he's 60. I haven't played him since before the portal opened, other than to use the bank and the auction house. I still get on him every day, just use the auction house, really. And his bank tabs. Yeah, Teta's doing the commanding show. Crit. I'm sure my rogue and shaman do considerably more damage than this character, but gotta get a primal nether. Those will eventually become tradable. But if I can get them now, why not? And they don't cost that much to upgrade. It's mainly just nethers. Got a bunch of banks full of stuff. Most of it's for a future death knight. As soon as that character comes off the assembly line, he's going to have all the materials for jewel crafting and alchemy to get from 1 to 375. So he can just scale up right to Northrend. And all the recipes that I could get from vendors in Classic, I just hoofed around the world and picked them all up. Vendor bought recipes on the old world from 1 to 60. That is quite a bit of shit. This is the first aid stuff. This is for cooking, fishing, and cooking recipes. So this is just first aid, cooking, and fishing. Then here's the first aid, or the alchemy stuff with recipes. Here's the jewel crafting stuff, recipes. Here's other recipes. Bags. Potions. Stuff. Some of these potions I'll use on my rogue or warlock who's going to Northrend as well. A backup supply of shirts imported from Stormwind. You can't even get those on the Tail Horde. I got extras. Ordnance spyglass, potions, armor kits. Over here I got some gear. I had a whole bunch more gear, but I actually just died. Did I even touch that fucking mob? I had far more gear, but then it occurred to me, why am I getting blues at a level where a quest reward has a blue on it? So store the blues that don't have competitors. If there's a blue with a quest reward, I mean, if there's a quest reward with a blue, then you don't need a tradable one on that slot. So realizing that, I'd resold half the blues that I had. And we might be wiping here. Hopefully not, we'll see. Whenever Wrath gets here, Outlands is going to be full of Death Knights. I don't think there will be any problem getting group quests done. There's going to be an elite quest and 5 Death Knights will be fucking doing it. I think they're running out. The healer's dead now. She's dead. So we would have to run back anyway, even if they survive. I really like that sword. Trying to get my shit back on. So yeah, you see most of my banks. This is the bank alt. Because there's not room for all this shit in the other characters. Geist is not storing anything from the Death Knight. But this was my raider slash engineer. So his bank was full of explosives. It's one spark short of creating a new continent or sending Outlands to Earth. If my bank were to ever detonate, there'd be a new dark portal. But I've actually been trimming down now because since I'm switching from rogue to shaman for raiding, and the shaman is not an engineer, we basically don't need any of these bombs anymore. Just looking over all of my crap. I might end up trying to resell a bunch of things. But I found one guy who might want to trade me for those bigger ones and super sappers, because I think he's going gnomish on his warrior. Blacksmith and gnomish engineer. He won't be able to make the goblin stuff. I said, well, you know, I have a bank that's fucking loaded with super sappers. Never fired one. I was just stocking them up for raiding and never used one. Never fired a single one of them. That's why there's so many of them in there. I was gonna get to them, I just hadn't yet. Lorogram would have been a perfect opportunity to whip some of those things out when all the fucking murlocs come. I was going to throw out all my bigger ones first, and I have thrown a bunch of those. I still have 38 of them left. Now I have some on this character. After I get my last nether, maybe we can switch to the rogue. But the funny thing is, I was planning on switching him to subtlety. He was combat for raiding, doing the arena for points and the battlegrounds for gear with a spec that's not intended for it. And still doesn't do all that badly, really. He's vulnerable to getting kited, and it doesn't have all the cooldowns. Not having prep, shadow step. The biggest problem is that enemy stealths see him a mile away because their stealth is improved and they have heightened senses, which is plus stealth detection. I don't have either of those. I don't have the stealth bonus or the detection. But nothing stops you from queuing up, going in there, getting points. But now that he's not going to be raiding anymore, I could just go sub. I love the spiky wheels. That is so early 2000s. The golden age of gaming. It's like you had 3D graphics, but you didn't have perfect 3D. So you have spiky barrels, spiky wheels. Which the game does look much nicer now than it used to, because they've got all kinds of new graphic settings for it. This is not how the game looked back then. I'd have to turn the graphics like considerably down and be like, okay, here's what it looked like when we played it back then. But the new stuff can only do so much because many things were not round to begin with. Like, you know, anti-aliasing cannot fix that. You're gonna have points one way or the other. All the new graphic settings can only do so much. This was originally 2007, and it's an expansion to the original game, which launched in 2004. Many people think it was 2005, but no, it was November 2004. The rest of the world did not get it until some months later, so if you were in Europe, I believe you were February 2005. Because Blizzard's in the United States, so they launched here first. We got it some months earlier. But I actually did not start until February 2005 anyway. That's when I started. I knew about it, just hadn't moved over yet. I think I knew about it before it even released, because there were rumors and announcements and shit. People are talking about it, beta testing it. We should not be fighting up here. Boss is gonna walk right up to us. He's trying to get them back. Better keep backing up. Stop with the roots. I'm running this at 75 frames. Doesn't say it anywhere, does it? You need a mod to actually say that. But I have a 75 hertz monitor now. I noticed at first, but now I've gotten used to it. But since this computer is ancient, at least the CPU, we're still recording at 30. Got 1080p at least, so the graphics are on for the most part. It's just not recording the frame rate.
What have we?
We want to get his healers. One thing I may have forgot to mention is that when you're doing a dungeon that's not level 70 and you're doing it on heroic, you get level 70 gear. It's not just the old items. There's a new loot table for the level 70 bird.
Heal me! Quickly!
Your healers are dead. If the dungeon is already level 70 like Steambolt, then they'll drop the same blues. But you can get badges, and you can get epic or purple gems, primal nethers. See, that would not drop on normal Ramparts as a 70. You'll get blues at 60. But a heroic of a dungeon that was already at 70 can still get purples from the final boss, and purple gems to put on your gear and primal nethers. First boss down. Got another badge. Yeah, at this point I think I might just stick it out with the warrior and go get a bloodlust brooch. Because he's at 32. He needs 41 for that. But all I planned to do with him at this point on was the battlegrounds, and you use the insignia in there. Right. This part with the 5 orcs can be dangerous. We got shadow resist though, which is good. Because they're going to be bolting us. Oh. I think I intercepted right before the sheep, but I stopped the swing. Yeah, pro tip, don't charge the mob that they have marked for sheep. Just don't do that. Here, have some fire. Burn them. They're red fiery orcs. They probably like to burn. Actually, I think they would have fire resist. They'd be resistant. They'd be like, oh, a flamethrower, that tickles. This one's buff. They buffed it up, gave it some roids. That's not a bad green bandit. agility, stamina, and attack power. It's a triple stat group. That's a good one. Many people want that stat group. Hunters, rogues. Bad for warriors, shamans, and paladins either. But on my shaman, I like strength. Because I get spell power from attack power. 30%. Strength gives me attack power. I would want the strength, stamina, and intellect, whatever that stat group is called. Which is actually on the battleground and arena gear for enhanced shaman. Because the itemization in Burning Crusade is not moronic like it is in Classic. They actually took the time to think, okay, the build of this class, what stats would this guy want? Let's put that on gear. They did that with every spec. They did not do this in Classic. In Classic, they just willy-nilly'd everything. It's like, oh, you don't have gear that matches your spec. Oh, that's too bad. You should have went healing like we intended. If you have a heal spec, you're supposed to heal in a 40-man raid. Blizzard made 40-man raids, and then they only intended for every class to use one of its 3 talent builds in the 40-man raids. Now my dwarf lady. But if I had the Bloodlust Brooch from 41 badges, I probably would drop that. Because then I'd have 2 damage trinkets. I'm using her because I don't have a good second one. But having more health isn't bad, I get hit enough. Hurt, but they are weak. Need a Wind Fury. You don't have a Wind Fury totem in here. Okay. This is a popular one on Heroics though, because it's kind of easy. And you get 3 badges. Mechanarm, Botanic, or more. You get 4 or 5 badges for those. shame that they did not rebalance the heroics on here. Some of them are just not worth the time for the rewards. They're significantly more difficult than others, yet they don't give you the rewards to justify it. That's why it'll be difficult to get a run for all of them. But if I look around long enough, it'll probably happen. It's just not going to be fast. I'm not going to be able to pound them all out in 2 or 3 days. Unless I tank them all myself. That is not happening with this warrior. I've heard that the heroics on Wrath are much better tuned. But it'd be nice if they adjusted these on here, but yeah, Blizzard's not doing it. I don't think they care about us anymore on Burning Crusade. They've gone over the Season of Mastery. They've essentially shovelwared Classic and Crusade, and they've gone to Season of Mastery, which are new, unnecessary Classic rims, but with a bunch of dumbass custom changes.
You dare stand against me? Of course you can. Feast my
That's the problem with them doing changes. They don't know which ones to do. They always end up doing ones that make no sense. That don't help the game. I was looking through the changes for Season of Mastery, and I'm thinking, like, what the fuck is this? Why would you do this? I think we gonna die. I'm gonna try and get the boss, but he put up shield wall. Spamming Shadow Bolt. Retaliation. Swing at me, boss. Swing. Better get some heals. I got him. I live. Zug Zug is alive. Then I get eaten by his hounds. She's healing me. I got Spirit of Redemption. Holy Spec Priests turn into a big ghost, and they can keep healing for like 10 seconds after they die. I'm gonna die to the damn ghost. Eat the damn light well. They're gonna catch up to me. I don't have any bandages on this character. Damn. Kill the boss and then get eaten to the fucking hounds. Yeah, I forgot to guzzle my potions, didn't I? That may have made the difference there. If I had that extra strength and armor. Alright, we'll pick it up when we get back. Okay, they are almost back. Some really nice damage plate there. But I'm not going to take it over this one. I have a blue there, so that's actually the same level. It's like on par. And a Primal Nether dropped right before I unpaused. Let's see, will I get my last Nether? Someone didn't roll. I waited for a Riz because I was the last one to die, so figured the healer would get back. much faster than I would. Okay, I've got 4 primals. Oh, can't trade that, did I? Well.
Yeah, man.
Well, I died quick. But both of them swung at me. I only hit the one guy. I only hit one. How did I get both? Okay. At least I'll be the only one to die, I guess. Pretty unnecessary death there. And not nearly as exciting as the last one. The last death was an epic showdown. This one was just gibbed on trash. Because the 2 fuckers decided to both swing at me at the same time. Okay. So we're up to Vazrudin the Herald. Now he will aggro after you kill these 2 orcs, so they're essentially part of the fight. See, notice how this time they did not swing at me? That's what I expected to happen last time. Got our dwarf lady throwing mugs. You can hear that sound go off when it hits too.
Soon your people will kneel to my lord.
Okay, here we go.
Your time is running out.
Yeah, light well. It gives you a heal over time, but if you take any damage while that buff is on you, it'll break. It's kind of like a bandage, you just don't have to channel. Okay, give me another one. I'm getting fireballed. But if you haven't guessed from all my banks, it's like, yeah, I might be a little excited for Death Knight. But when I have my Death Knight, I don't want to be running around the old world trying to get plants and rocks and shit. I'm like, no, I'm gonna have all that shit done. So he can just sit there at the trainer, spam the button over and over to skill up. Because we got Northrend to go to. So I would recommend you do that if you're going to make a Death Knight as well, or just any other character. Shit, I'm not in Berserk stance. I couldn't drop that. Just farm all the shit in advance. You could have done that with Goat or Blood Elf as well, but I wasn't planning to make either of those. Okay, yeah, that's junk. Decent rank. Their badge should be in the chest. But it only lets one person get on it at a time for some reason. And I won that. It's gonna be sharded. Defense with mana origin. Only a paladin would care about that. Alright, that is it for this run. I was doing a port. And we will see what comes up next. It would have been a little bit faster if not for the deaths. Very close on that boss, and that really cut us back time. I've done Ramparts much faster before, but deaths push you back. Okay, but anyway, that was Heroic Ramparts.